Hey guys, welcome to Hammond's Hobbies. So today is a massive day in F1. We've got Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton in a final winner takes all race. I have never remembered a finale like this in F1. Normally I'm used to Michael Schumacher wrapping it up 3 or 4 races before, Lewis Hamilton wrapping it up, Vettel wrapping it up. Now we have two of the best drivers in the world equal on points going into the final race. So huge day for an F1 fan. Whether you're a Lewis Hamilton fan or not, it's a big day if you're an F1 fan. I think F1 is the real winner overall because obviously it's drawn so much attention to the sport at what seems to be the right sort of time, oddly enough. Obviously, the American company Liberty Media took over F1 a few years ago, and their big plans were right, we are going to really change it in the next 3 years. And I remember them saying that, and I thought, well, what can they change really? And here we are 3 years later with Drive to Survive on Netflix being a great success all around the world. We've got the best drivers competing equal points. Obviously, I don't think they had too much to do with that, but it's just the way it's panned out. Obviously, the collectible card scene as well, which obviously has drawn people like me into collecting into the hobby, and obviously doing videos like this. So it's just growing the sport throughout. It's gone from being like a niche little European fan base to a worldwide audience in quite a short period of time. Next year, they have the huge rule changes happening as well. So, what is going to happen with that? How's it going to bunch the pack up? Is it going to create more overtaking? Is it going to make more exciting races, thus bringing in more audiences? I don't know, but I'm really excited to join the ride. But something's bothering me. It's the final race. We're about an hour away from it, and I'm wearing the wrong sport clothing. So we're gonna have to sort that out. Right, give me a second, guys. Right, so we're back, and I've got the Mercedes Stealth T-shirt on, and I've also got the hat. I was going to wear the coat, but it's actually really hot in here, and with the race coming on, I think I'm going to be a bit hot and bothered. So I've decided against the coat for now. But while I was getting changed, honestly, I didn't plan this. I was actually going to file a complaint PayPal because I've been waiting for this to turn up for weeks. And that's this mat here. I've managed to order this play mat, which means that when I do my unboxings or I play about with cards on video, normally when I feel bad putting them on the table, but here it doesn't matter because it's nice and soft. It's a very thick mat, very good material. So it's yes, great. And obviously, as you can already see, it encompasses everything that I do on this YouTube channel. So we've got Pokemon and F1. But I have noticed that actually I can see more of Max Verstappen's number than I can Lewis Hamilton's. Or not, I don't know how I feel about that. So I need to sit there and have a play about with this so that I can get the camera right and everything. But what do you guys think? Comment down below. Do you like this, Matt? I really like it. I'm quite happy with how it's come out. Actually, the print quality seems pretty good. Um, we aren't seeing two drivers, just one of them's there just because they're the alternative second. We're seeing two top of the cream of the crop drivers at the same time. So it's like a Roger Federer, like he's in tennis and people are thinking when's the next Roger Federer going to come along, but that next person might not come along until after Roger Federer is retired. But we're lucky because we've got two top drivers at the same time in the same season in two different teams on equal points, and they've both won about the same amount of races. Like it's insane. They've been all around the world, and here we are in the final race, all on the same points, going. And not only that, you'd think one of them would have an engine failure or something like that. One would be starting 10th and one would be first, and we'd be like, oh no, the other one's won it. But they've qualified first and second, so they're literally next to each other on the final race on equal points. It's like I've never seen it. I've never ever seen it. So I think overall the winner is us as fans viewers. I've noticed a lot more people are talking about watching the race this weekend, even though they're not that into Formula One, just because they know, okay, this is something that I need to witness. So I think there's going to be, especially in the UK, I think it's gonna have very high viewership for today, which just draws more attention to the sport. So when people then talk about, oh yeah, I'm collecting F1 cards, people like get it. They know the name Max Verstappen, they know the name Lewis Hamilton. And obviously the Drive to Survive series for next year is going to be, because they make it so high tense. Well, it's been tense just watching it on a very non-biased broadcast. So let alone watching it on Drive to Survive for next year, so that's going to be pretty intense as well. So I'm looking forward to that. But the race is about to start. I've given you my prediction. I've told you what to expect from me and this channel over the next year or so. I hope you stick with me. Please click that subscribe button and please smash up the like button. I really do appreciate it. And I'll do another video, or I might do it in this video actually. I might pause this and come back and start recording again after the race is finished, so we can discuss what happened. So yeah, bear with me for that. Yes, get in. Lewis has done him on the start already. We just need Max not to crash into him, for God's sake. Oh no, he's going up the inside. Lewis will have to give that place back. And he wants that place back. Yeah, we'll give it back to you. He'll bloody brake test you like you did. Oh, come on, Bottas. Oh. That's not in play to help us. If Hamilton gives the place back, Perez is right behind him, so it's dropped down to third. No investigation necessary. Lewis is in the lead. That's going to be a huge talking point. If Lewis wins now this race, everyone will say that's the reason why. Obviously, the big talking point so far. Bearing in mind the last race, it was all calm for 15 laps. So at the minute, Hamilton's in 8th. He's gaining and gaining and gaining with every lap, and there's not much that stops him. He's behind Perez. That's the view from Mercedes. Oh, Max just went off. But Verstappen. Oh, look. Oh, Max. Yeah. See, I called it before you guys. I wonder if he'll do a lunge like that now against this Ferrari, because the Ferrari's got nothing to lose. At the minute, he's fighting for a podium, so he'd be like, here we go, look, is he going to do it? No, he didn't do the lunge then, did he? Didn't do the lunge then. If that was Hamilton, you would have gone straight in the side of him. No, he done him fair and square. Well done, Max. 8 seconds or so behind Lewis. Oh, the Ferrari's coming back. In this part of the track. Right, so the Red Bull team just clearly just said to Perez, just hold up Hamilton. So they're literally just using Perez as a just hold up Hamilton as much as you can. So, and Hamilton's right up his arse now. Is he going to test braking? But in the end, this is a key point. Lewis will be nervous. The back of Red Bull, and Perez will have a lunge up the inside. Inevitably, Lewis cuts back underneath him. This is close battling. Oh, don't touch him! Drive past him, give him a little wave. Or was it? Oh no, no, Perez is coming back. No, careful, Lewis, careful. You'll do him on the straight. Oh God, I can't deal with this. Just that little extra bit. This is a very, very good tussle here. Perez has absolutely on the limit. Oh, careful, careful, Hamilton, he push you off. Certainly with Max Verstappen. Just be careful, Lewis. Just think about that overall. You just need to finish ahead of Max, not win the race. Careful, careful, careful. Ay, 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 ay. Oh no, don't take the lunge. Ay, 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 ay. That's it. That's it. Now do him on the straight. Come on. Oh, Max is right up his ass. He does get past Perez. He moves towards the inside. Oh, but Perez is coming back again. Oh my God, my heart. Jesus Christ. He always just backs right off. I mean, he's 8th at the minute. Perez is fighting for 2nd and 3rd and holding up Lewis and letting Max through. Once again, and now he's lost drive as well. So that is the end of Kimi Raikkonen's career in Formula One. He's had a brake bar wire failure. It's only halfway through this race. I feel like something's going to happen, like a puncture for one of them, which obviously then is pot luck. They seem to be pushing these tires. They're doing, I mean, these two top guys. Normally, what happens is one of them pulls ahead by so many seconds, and then they sort of settle in for that position. Or they sort of like think, okay, how can we beat them via strategy? Because if they push 100% all the way to the end of the race, one, they'll run out of fuel, they run out of tyres, so they have to manage. And you hear it a lot of times, oh, he's managing his tyres, he's managing his pace. It seems like Hamilton and Verstappen are just going 100%, and that means you're pushing everything to the limit. Tyres, fuel, gears, brakes, everything. They're all running at their max level, which means there's very, very high chance of something just break it. Saying just going, tires, brakes, gears, any engine failure, a bad pit stop, anything, any little mistake could happen because you're running at such a high level of sport. So yeah, I feel like we're only halfway through this race. I can't imagine either of them just backing off at any point. So it's going to be an interesting second half. There's a virtual safety car.
Later on, they're staying out. That's odd. So it is Charles Leclerc.
And Mercedes are staying out. This is the best time to pit during a. Everyone's driving 40% slower. Yes, Max will get track position and he could try and get to the end of the race.
Maybe.
This is what I was talking about being in front. So Hamilton can't predict what the car behind's going to do. So they have to go, right, do we let them have track position or do we pit? And now the Red Bull have the fortune of saying, right, Hamilton's just stayed out, so let's try new tyres.
Because Hamilton,
right, so this is what I'm saying, like, it's going to be decided by this pit stop now. So Max has done a pit stop under the virtual safety car, which means everyone's going a lot slower. Hamilton stayed out, but now there's only 17 seconds between them, and Hamilton still needs to pit at some point. He's already said these tyres won't get to the end. So Hamilton would then come out about 4 seconds behind Max Verstappen. So at the minute, the ball's in Max Verstappen's court.
Who knows?
Hamilton's going to have to get all the way to the end of this race now, 58 laps. So we're on lap 39. So we've got, what is that? 19 laps. He's got to go 19 laps now without pitting on. Yeah, and if these tyres fall off a cliff, then that's it. They just go, and he'll be driving around like 2 seconds a lap slower.
In terms of the lap times, 0.8 of a second.
This is going to need a Michael Schumacher-esque 20 qualifying laps.
Yeah, the potential to lose track position, Lewis, too high.
That's what we were talking about, isn't it? Yeah. They knew Red Bull would do the opposite.
That's what I was saying.
Any kind of issue between the two.
You can't just give it to Max, because then Max would be trying to get to the end of the race and Lewis will be catching him up, and then Lewis would have to overtake him on track, and who knows what's going to happen with Lewis. So Mercedes are right, but
say they need to be Schumacher-esque qualifying laps now. Banzai, flat out.
Max is going to have to put his foot down constantly, and he's going to have to overtake. But by the time he catches Hamilton, he will be on such better tyres that when they do obviously eventually go into a corner together, Max will have the better grip. He'll pull away better. He'll be able to speak later.
In 6, Tsunoda, Alonso, Gasly, and Ocon. This is Fernando Alonso. That's how he got past Pierre Gasly, and that's how Gasly got repassed.
Yeah, it put me out. I was in front. In the corner braking, so
that's an old message, because Fernando would not have been speaking as he went down the inside of Pierre Gasly, ran himself off the track and over the curb. Did he stay ahead of Pierre Gasly? But he's ahead of him on the track at the moment.
Tsunoda, wasn't it? I think.
Oh, is that Tsunoda?
No, took it next thing back.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Here we go again. Completely damaged, looks like crazy. Right.
Incidents involving Tsunoda and Alonso. No investigation.
If there's another safety car, then then it'll go back into Mercedes' hands, because they'll be able to pit, and then everything will be as it is. But we don't know that's going to happen in the next 18 laps.
It feels to me as if raw pace alone.
Yeah, copy Lewis. Yeah, we should both take the curve though.
Yeah, it's what I was going to say actually. Well, I think absolutely on raw pace alone, Lewis should have it.
It's a bit unfair to call them back markers, but cars hit it next to
Lewis Hamilton's coming up to some
I guess if you're used to the
back
hybrid,
marker cars, four of them, one of them being Fernando Alonso. He's made it very clear he wants Max to win the championship. So, yeah, that's going to be tense.
in Detroit
Um,
by passing somebody and whoever.
I've got a feeling, I've just got a feeling that Hamilton's going to get a puncture because he's done 30 laps on these tyres already. Max pitted 6 laps ago. And he's got to do another 13 laps on top. So that means he would have done about 44 laps, 45 laps, something like that by the time he gets round. So it's tough.
gets to these back.
If Hamilton does get to the end of the race ahead, because they said, oh, Max would have to catch us up at 0.8 of a second per lap to get behind you and overtake you. And Max was doing that, and now Max is starting to ease off because his tyres are starting to wear down. So this is going to be tense all the way to. I remember thinking one year Mika Hakkinen had won it, and then he had I think he ran out of fuel on like the second from last lap, or might have been the last lap on the. And I just remember I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted, and I've just got a feeling something like that's going to happen here.
8-10.
Hamilton's got to do another 8 laps on these tyres. Oh my god! I don't know how people can say Formula One's boring. Like, I know Lewis got ahead at the beginning, and Max obviously had that incident, like turn 2 or 3 or whatever it was. But it's been so tense all the way through. But that's because if you understand what's going on in Formula One, like the times, the pits, the safety car, the virtual car, where the crashes happen in the race. If you take all of that into account, all that information, it builds for a very tense story. Like even now, Hamilton's leading from Max Verstappen. That was how they pulled away from the starting grid. You could say that's a boring result, but this is nothing from boring. This is far from a boring race. This is very tense.
For Verstappen to get through in that DRS train, as we call it.
Yeah, Verstappen though will get DRS to help him lap those cars, and that might just help him.
There are now 7 laps remaining, and Verstappen is 10 seconds behind, so he's going to have to catch up like 1.2 seconds a lap in the last 7, something like that. Obviously, I ain't got a calculator in front of me, but it's something like that. He'd have to absolutely hammer it. No.
Cover that, Williams, and to work on it, and this now completely changes the context of
full safety car, 5 laps.
Williams in time, and we can have a couple of laps racing to the checkered flag.
There's bound to be a couple, and of course that's where Max Verstappen's much fresher tyres will.
No.
They have nothing to lose.
No.
Clear as Perez so pits as we can see. There's quite a few
the Red Bulls put soft tyres on, which means by the time they restart this race, Max is going to be on brand new, fresh, soft tyres. Lewis is going to be on 40-lap old, hard tyres. That is pure luck. Oh my god, I can't deal with it.
Will they let
the laps to go? Nicholas Latifi.
If we get 1 or 2 laps, Max only needs 1 corner. That's all he needs. So they're saying the cars don't have to unlap themselves. So Max is going to have to overtake about 3 or 4 cars between him and Hamilton.
Which means that there are plenty through Norris, Alonso, and also.
I mean, this is going to go down to the line. Like
Sebastian Vettel.
None of which it's.
Oh my god, they've just changed their mind halfway through. So now there's going to be 1 lap. And it's going to be Max on soft tyres.
It has left Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen side by side. Hamilton will be ahead. Verstappen is absolutely desperate to get on with this.
Oh my God.
Tyre. We're going to have one lap of racing to decide the championship in 2020.
Oh my God, this is tense. Oh my God. Come on, Hamilton.
To the checkered flag.
He's got DRS and everything. Oh, oh my God, the last race of the year. Equal points, last lap. First and second. Oh my God.
Down in the turn 5 is Verstappen.
He's going to go for a lunge like he always does. Hamilton. Oh, shit. Shit.
Is the championship trophy to Lewis Hamilton. This
No DRS for 2 laps, so Lewis Hamilton will not get the rear wing over.
Go on, Lewis. Do a lunge. Go on.
If Verstappen keeps it tight and neat, but he hasn't,
He's got the better grip.
started with controversy is ending with controversy. Here comes Lewis Hamilton.
Come on, Hamilton. Come on.
Into turn 9, Verstappen stays
Oh.
on it.
Oh my God.
Controversy. In Formula 1 in 2021, it comes down to this. And at this moment, it looks like it's going to go the way of Max Verstappen. Mercedes not happy. Red Bull will be delighted. They have shared a brilliant championship battle, but the championship can only be
Fuck. Fuck.
in 20.
Fuck.
Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world. Lewis
Fuck.
finishes in second place after leading for so long. But these last moments are going to be talked about. And this might not be the end of the matter because Mercedes are furious as much as the Dutch fans. I think it's fabulous. Steps on to a
So there you go. It's the end of the race. Max Verstappen won. Lewis Hamilton came second. There was an incident towards the end. Safety car came out. Mercedes were going to lose that. Whatever decision they made, Max would have done the opposite. So if Hamilton had pitted, Max would be ahead on track with 1 or 2 laps to go and fresher tyres. So he would have won. In the end, he pitted. He had enough gap behind him to come out where he was. There was a few cars in between him, but they were underlapped cars. I feel like what the decision should have been is let all the cars overtake and then have 1 lap of racing, or let none of them. What they chose to do was let just the cars between Max and Hamilton go, so Max could go right up to the arse of Lewis Hamilton, and then obviously a race to the end, which in a racer's mentality is the right thing. They said to Toto Wolff, we decided to go racing, which is the right thing to do in race aspects. Pure luck, though, on the side of Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton, because if Lewis knew that that was the mind process, he could have pitted, Max would have got ahead, Lewis would have the soft tyres, and he'd be overtaken. So it was pure luck at that point. And really, obviously, no fault from Max. He could have tried to overtake Hamilton and overcooked it and gone off, and then Lewis would have pulled ahead, and Max wouldn't have had enough time to catch him up. But he didn't. He didn't overdo it. He overtook Lewis Hamilton fair and square, and he just pulled ahead, obviously with those better tyres. But in the concept of the whole race, Lewis Hamilton was flawless throughout that whole race. He literally drove the arse out of that car and those tyres, and he was pulling ahead of Max Verstappen in some of the laps, even when he had those 40-lap tyres and Max only had 6-lap tyres. So Lewis done everything in his power to make that happen. But here we are, obviously, with luck. Happens in all sports. Penalties, shootouts in football, or people just scuffing the ball, or a goalkeeper, it's slipping through his hands. You know, cricket, you know, the ball going a certain direction, or someone dropping it, or baseball, or whatever it is. Sometimes there's just moments where it's just pure luck. And I feel like Max Verstappen today received that luck and he won it. Rightly so, though, that he is a world champion, because we all know deep down, if he didn't win it this year, next year, the year, at some point, he was going to be a world champion. Now, that interferes with Lewis Hamilton trying to be the greatest of all time on paper, but it's now up to Lewis whether he retires. They sort of said to him about next year, he went, oh, we'll see about next year. So, I don't know, is he ready to hang it up? You know, is he getting old enough? Has he got the fight left in him to carry on another year? Who knows what's going to happen with the regulations next year? It could be completely Red Bull dominant for the year, and Max might win his second world title, and then Lewis Hamilton might retire then. So we just don't know. It was just, at the end of the day, that was down to pure luck on that last lap. If that Williams didn't crash out, Hamilton would be world champion now. So it's a bitter pill to swallow, but I think it was going to happen whether it was this year or next year. So I'm glad you can see I'm actually glad that Max actually showed a bit of emotion. Every time he has a race, he always says, I don't really care. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I lose. I don't care if I'm a world champion. The world championship don't bother me. And then there he was crying his eyes out, and like with his dad and that. And you could see it does bother him, and he did want it. You know, he wanted it. And I'm glad to see that. It just means me getting that Max Verstappen Sapphire card is probably going to be a bit more expensive than it was yesterday. But that's it. That's the end of this video. I'm going to edit it down so it's, instead of an hour long, it's only like a 20 or 30-minute video max. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this race? Comment down below. Smash the like button up if you've liked seeing my reaction. I apologise if I swore and young people are watching. But yeah, that was, as a Lewis Hamilton fan, that was hard to swallow. So I wish Max all the best, and I look forward to obviously next year. And I'll see you guys on the next video from myself. Bye, guys.